Good morning. This is Jake Wire with Blue Coast Realty. Shooting a quick video outside of my client's closing attorney's office. Today, my clients are closing on their brand new constructed home that they designed from scratch, and I wanted to quickly kind of go over the process that it took to get to today to get to them to get to their keys to their brand new house of a new constructed house. It comes up pretty often with people that are in the market for building a new home, kind of what the process is from start to finish. And I thought I'd just shoot you guys a quick video of what it took to get my clients to today. So my clients, just as a base story, is they're from out of town. They knew they wanted to build new construction here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And they kind of knew what their price range was going to be. They're retirees. And so the first part of that process, and this was 5 months ago, so it took us a total of 5 months to do. The average constructions of new construction takes about 4 to 6 months. Currently, right now in Wilmington, North Carolina, that's the average. It can range a little bit. But so 5 months ago, my clients basically decided that this is what they were going to do. And the first thing they had to decide was whether they were going to buy new construction with a builder in a pre-planned community, or if they were going to buy and construct basically a one-off custom home new construction. And the difference with that is one-off new construction, you're basically going to have to go locate your land, your lot through a real estate agent, purchase that, then locate your builder, hire them, design, and then go ahead and start construction. They'd opted for the pre-planned builders community, and it's a little more streamlined with that process. So with this process, we basically met with the builder. We looked at the entire community, the map, the layout. They decided which lot they wanted to purchase. And within a community, a pre-planned community, the lots can vary in price. They call this basically a lot premium, and it has to do with basically if there's a view, where the location is, if it's across from the community pool, things like that. In this case, they picked out a lot that did not have a lot premium involved, and so then they also picked out their model home that they wanted constructed on that lot. This builder allowed you basically to hold the lot for X amount of time with a $1,000 refundable deposit. My clients opted to do that and go home and kind of discuss if this is what they wanted to do. They talked about it for a couple days and ultimately decided they wanted to move forward with the build. And at that point, the builder asked for the remaining part of the deposit, $5,000 total. So if this is an additional $4,000 deposit, so they built a $300,000+ home for a total of $5,000 deposit. Now, the reason why a builder is willing to do that in a situation like this in a pre-planned community is because they assume that they're building a pretty standard product that most people are going to want, and that if for any reason you're not able to close, they're able to probably sell this to someone else who will close and they'll be whole. So that's the reason why most of these builders in pre-planned communities are willing to do a little bit lower of a deposit situation. So from this point, basically a couple things are going to get kicked off. One is the builders are going to start pulling permits with the county and cities to get your construction started. And two, they're going to start scheduling some of the appointments that they want you as the homeowner to attend. And the first appointment that you're going to attend is called the design studio. This is the fun one, guys. So the design studio is basically where you get to pick all your upgrades, you pick out your colors, your flooring, all that fun stuff. This is where you get to basically build your dream house. So I would recommend, if you can be at this meeting, definitely try to attend. Can be the fun part of it. My clients were out of state. We did this via FaceTime. This is kind of one of those times where having your own representation, your own buyer in town locally is a huge asset to you, because if you can attend, you will have representation there, and that worked out fine. But if you can go, this is a fun opportunity to build a house. Not very many people get this opportunity in a lifetime. So also during the design studio, this is where all your upgrades are happening. So you can significantly add on to the price tag of the base price of this home. So if you don't have unlimited budget, which most people do not, reel yourself in as best you can during this process and know what you want to ultimately spend, because everything you're adding onto it is going to add to that price tag. So I've had people walk out of there and their heads spinning because they've added hundreds of thousands of dollars to the base price. You can adjust this. You can take upgrades off to get the price back down during this point. But just go into it knowing what you want to spend and be realistic. This is also something to know when you pick out your builder in your community. Talk to your agent. Builder to builder can vary wildly what they consider upgrades and what they consider the base price upgrades. So some builders will throw in a lot more upgrades and it's just part of the base price. Some builders will have a really low base price, but then every single item that you want upgraded is going to be an additional cost. So something to keep in mind. So from this point, you've got your house designed. You know exactly what you got into the house, what you're going to spend at this point. And the next time you see this house that the builder is going to want you at and require you to be at is going to be quite a ways down the line. It's what they call the pre-drywall meeting, or so basically what's happened at this point is they've broken ground, they've started construction, your house is framed up. This is your opportunity to see the house before they close the walls up. So you get to see how the house is framed up, how the electrical is laid out. There's also a time where you can kind of move electrical sockets if you have a personal preference or things like that, and it's pretty easy to do at this point. Your lender will also use this as basically a flag of when they need to set your rate and lock you in. It gives them an idea in the process of when the home will probably close at this point. So they have a pretty good idea, and they use this as the flag to go ahead and get your interest rate locked. So I would recommend you be at this appointment too. It's good. This is the one time you're ever going to see the house, the internal parts of the house and how it's constructed. So it's a good spot to be. It's good to see. After this process, it's going to be quite a ways till you see the house again, or you're made to go see the house again, I guess is what I should say. And the next meeting that you're going to be at, the home is going to be pretty much completely constructed. The next meeting's set about 2 weeks outside of closing, so the home should be significantly close to being completed. You're going to meet with the building's warranty department, and what you're going to do during this orientation walkthrough, or they also call it a blue tape walkthrough, because you'll be walking through with a roll of blue masking tape, taking pieces of that tape and putting it on any imperfections you see on the house. This is also the time you can call out if they screwed up somewhere along the line, put wrong appliances in. There's all kinds of stuff. This is an idea of basically what the house is going to be finished looking like, minus some cosmetic issues at this point. This is also the time, and I've said this a bunch in different videos, is you want to be hiring your own home inspector. It's about $400 to $450 for a home inspector to go out there and do this report. It's not going to be at the exact same time as your orientation walkthrough, but it should be in the same time frame to get that report basically ordered up, and you want to get him scheduled in over there. So once you wrap up all that, you go through and you blue tape everything that you don't like, you point out any problems you have. Your home inspector goes over there, goes hopefully into the crawl space, goes under the house, all the places that you're not going to go into. You'll get that home inspection back, and you go and share that with your real estate agent and your builder. And at this point, during that two-week time frame, they're going to go out there and kind of address all these issues. So they'll have a bunch of trades out there. The house is going to be busy for the next 2 weeks addressing small issues, big issues, whatever was found. And the next time that you're going to be there is what they call the final walkthrough, which was today for my clients, and closing is today for my clients. They usually schedule final walkthrough 2 hours to 1 hour prior to closing, depending on the builder. And you're basically going to walk through to make sure all the items, you're going to walk through with your project manager and your real estate agent and make sure all the items that you had previously pointed out and they were pointed out in the home inspection report have been addressed and they're completed. A lot of the times there's going to be a couple items here and there that have not got addressed. There's going to be a paint drip that didn't get sanded out. There's going to be things like that, small items. There were this morning. And as a buyer, you should feel pretty comfortable because you do have a 1-year home warranty with most builders to go ahead and close. If it's small items, they will address those over the course of the next few days. Usually they'll be out there, like I said, for a full year doing whatever you need done to make sure things are correct on that home. And at what point, with most builders, you can extend out that warranty past a year as well. So, however, if you do find something big and it wasn't addressed during your final walkthrough, you do have the opportunity as a consumer to ask for an extension of closing. This is your right. You want to make sure the house is pretty much where it should be at this point. And this is an opportunity, if you don't feel comfortable and it's a big item and you you don't feel comfortable going and sending that much money over to them until things are addressed, you can go ahead and make that request. That wasn't the case this morning. It was just a few small items. We discussed it. We signed off on the final walkthrough with the project manager, and there were going to be a couple items that were going to be addressed after closing. My clients were okay with that. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and head on over to where we are now, the closing attorney's office. And here in North Carolina, we're an attorney state, and what that means is you are going to be closing with a licensed North Carolina attorney. And the attorney is going to basically be going over all the paperwork with you and signing paperwork. None of this paperwork should be new to you at this point. You should have seen it all. Your lender paperwork has to be over to you for review 3 days prior to closing by federal law. So you should have seen all of that paperwork, had time to go through it and read it and make sure you're comfortable with what the lender sent over. You should have also got the preliminary closing disclosure, so you know exactly monetarily wise what's coming and going. There should be no surprises there. You should have gone over that with your real estate agent or the attorney's office prior to this point. Your HOA docs will be in there. All that stuff should have been provided to you previously. So this is really a chance for the attorney to go over it with you one more time, make sure everything's where it should be, and then go and get signatures on it. Once you sign everything, everything's good there. Your attorney's going to go ahead and record that property for you. And what that means basically is he's going to transfer the title out of the builder's name and into the new homeowner's name. Some attorneys do electronic closing, and some do kind of an old-fashioned go down to the recorder's office and push paperwork recording. Just kind of a word of the wise, a trick of the industry. When hiring your attorney, you probably want to go ahead and go with someone that does the electronic closing. It's quicker. Most people, they've just spent a bunch of money, and you don't get your keys until after this is recorded. So you can imagine sitting there all day wanting to go walk through your house and get your keys and get stuff moved in, and you gotta wait till that has final recording done. So you might want to make sure that attorney's office does do electronic recording. In this case, it's only going to take about an hour to record, and I get to give my keys to the client, and they get to go have full access and full rights to their new home, which is awesome. It's kind of the best day really of real estate. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was like kind of start to finish helpful, and it kind of explains the process. So like I said, this is 5 months. There was quite a few of these meetings that my clients weren't able to attend due to being out of state. I attended for them. A lot of it we FaceTimed. Some of those upgrades I was able to negotiate in for free for them during the process. It's kind of one of those times that having your own buyer representation, your own buyer broker is really valuable, especially if you're out of state. And I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but I don't get paid by my clients. I get paid by the builder. So this is the one time you get representation for free. So take that as you will. So I guess what to take away with that is, definitely get your home inspection and have your own buyer broker representation. If you have any questions on any of this is kind of start to finish what it took to build a home in a pre-planned builder community. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions on this video or any other ones, feel free to reach out to me through YouTube, Facebook. I'm pretty easy to find, but I'd love to be able to help you out in any way possible and to answer any questions you might have. You have a great day.